Okay. Alright, so... Okay, let's see if we have the... let's see if we have the connection here. Yeah, test microphone. Okay, let's test the microphone and see what happens. Sure. Okay, let's test the microphone and see what happens. Sure. Okay. Alright, so we have it. Alright, so that's great. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Brother Mitch, I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. Can you see me?
I can see a chair, a white one, with books in the background.
Okay, let me fix that. Let me fix that for you because... but you can hear me, obviously, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, okay, great. Let me try to fix that. Because I cannot see you either. For some reason I see your name, but let me fix it.
Oh, okay, hang on a minute. Maybe
okay.
Can you see?
I can see you now. Let me fix my image here because you should be able to see me. Why is this? It says rotate. Hang on just a second. Rotate. We're not rotating anything. We're...
Technology.
Why is it rotating at the point? Okay, so just a second here. Okay, so we have a, well...
Right, yeah.
I tell you what, Brother Mitch. Do you want me to call you Brother Mitch or Brother Peter? Which one?
Whichever you're comfortable with, I don't mind. I'm Petros, Jan, Peter, Brother Petros, and Mitch.
Okay.
Brother Mitch is probably what you're used to, so go with it.
Okay. Let me, Brother Mitch. Let me. I am trying to see what else. So I've got only one camera attached. So let me just. Okay, maybe I just remove this background and hopefully you'll see me, I guess. I don't know.
Well, give it a go.
Okay, do you see me?
Not yet. I've got a camera with a cross through it.
Okay, so maybe this is... We're getting closer. Just a second. I have a green screen.
Go down and click on your camera or something.
Okay. Video, USB 2. Yeah, that's the camera I got. USB 2, that's the only one attached to it. See, when you...
I'm new at this, so it could be my fault. Maybe.
No. This is absolutely... this should be... Because I use it all the time. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's whenever
you want to get out of it again and see.
No. It's just a setting for my video for my video transmission. Let me find out if this is due to the internet speed or not. How fast is your internet in Yerevan?
Well, pretty fast. I've got no idea exactly, but I'm not a technocrat, so I don't know. But it's good speed. Okay.
Yeah, mine is 30 megabits per second, so I'm not sure if yours is about the same or not, but okay, Alt-N, so let's try to select the camera, Alt-N, let's see if it changes anything. So it did something, Alt-N again to switch. Okay, alright, so... Let me stop the video and then start the video. Maybe we'll do that. So okay, start the video. Okay, let me start the video. Okay, is it playing now?
No. Let me just see here. No, I've got a blank screen now. I can just see, I've just got a small window up the very top with me in it.
Okay. So you don't see me at all. Okay. Let me try to. Okay, let me try to fix it.
What time is
again.
it there in the US?
It is 5:57 a.m. right now.
Oh man.
Yep. What
Did
time
you
is
sleep
it?
enough, or?
Well, I start early, so it's just I'm a. Sometimes I do early projects, and that allows me to get things done.
The Lord bless you for that, then.
Yeah.
Keep you safe. We have to look after our body, mind, and soul.
Amen to that, for sure, for sure. Let me while I'm. So, Brother Mitch, while I'm doing this, so select a speaker, select a microphone, select a camera. While I'm doing all this, just a sort of a, I guess, quick introduction here. As soon as you mentioned Diligent, I said, we have to talk even before Brother Hike gets on the phone, so I can tell you that story. And I'm working as we speak. I'm doing two things. So forgive me, my mind is sort of I only can focus on one thing at a time. So as I'm trying to make this introduction here, maybe you'll take over the sort of conversation. How was that video that you watched about just the basics of technology that I shared with you?
Well, I mean, it was really all about the train, wasn't it? The train, is that correct?
Well, it's the levitation technology. It could be used anywhere.
Levitation technology, yeah. Well, I mean, as it applies to the train, I can grasp the concept. I can't seem to marry that up with a drone though. But anyway, that doesn't matter. The technology is amazing, obviously.
Yeah.
Your description of it is also your description of your product is little short of miraculous. I mean, to go at that speed, to go for that long, with all of the nanotechnology that you say, all of these things are mind-blowing for me. I honestly don't know very much about that at all. It's just amazing. Hayek also thinks it's amazing, and we really would like to help you in any way possible to get this off the ground. So we have we have obviously my section, which is brain gain, and basically it's an extension of what I do now on the YouTube channel, but in a more professional way. So obviously that's a very introductory and basic level. We're trying to encourage the diaspora to return to start up their business. But you might think, well, okay, that's all very nice, Mitch, but how are we going to put that into action? Well, our team has got a business centre and business support centre, and we've got a tech transfer office, and this deals with the commercialization of technologies, and in other words, putting technologies into the market. So we have a wonderful young man who leads that team, and we have established many contacts also. So I think we're off to a good start. We also have Made in Armenia concept as well, and I can send you the links to both of those if you like to learn a little bit more about what we can provide. Hayek obviously knows the ins and outs of that much more than I do. I'm not. I don't profess to be an expert in that field at all. I'm 64 and I've been around the traps a bit. I used to be in the police force in Australia, South Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked in the healthcare industry, and obviously I've studied theology, which I think initially I wanted to. I felt the Lord calling me to become a minister. But for one reason or another, that didn't eventuate. I even went overseas. I went to America. I went to Singapore. I studied in Bible colleges, and I got myself quite confused, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And came back to Australia and lost my way for a time, I have to say. And well, the Lord is very gracious, and He was very merciful, as you would know, and I poured out my heart to Him after many years of wandering in the wilderness. And there He met me on the floor of my very dark and dingy apartment. I was living alone at the time, and literally it was a very dark, cold, damp little place. And I just poured out my heart to God, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't know how you can forgive me. And there he met me and lifted me up, and I haven't looked back since. Obviously, we have ups and downs as Christians, valleys and troughs, but truly, I haven't words to describe how gracious He was. And I think it was the fact that maybe, even though I knew theoretically,
Plug in a different camera, and it hopefully will recognize it, and that way we could you could see me. Yeah, I tell you, it's not one thing, it's the other. But we are gonna fix. See, technology, Brother Mitch. Technology, when it comes to me, has a special, very special place, because through technology, since I was a very young teenager, I noticed that for other people it may not be so, but for me, sometimes when demons want to throw a monkey wrench down my path, they use technology because I'm so connected with technology. But for other people, it's going to be something else, whatever the person's into. So this is the first time that it malfunctioned like this, because this is bizarre, most bizarre situation where we should be connecting. And I was going to tell you that story. That story is so spiritual, Brother Mitch, you have no idea. And for that, we're going to make sure you see my face, because it is so special. Dilijan, that Serpentine Road, I was 5 we were driving with my parents, and I'm going to tell you as soon as we get here, just plugged in and going, just a second. So let's see here. So I'm going to try to connect this camera. Okay, I'm going to try to connect this camera over here. Okay, and I'm going to okay, I need an HDMI cable for this camera. Just a second. I'm going to plug it in using an HDMI cable. And actually, no, it has a little. It does have a micro USB. So this should work. Okay, so let me just grab a cable, plug it in, and this should recognize it. This is a Canon DSLR camera, so you'll see me. Oh, it doesn't fit in this spot here, but I'm going to lay it on top of my laptop, and hopefully it will not. Oh, oops. Okay, can you still hear me? Okay. All right, so I tell you, this is microphone. Okay. All right, so let me see here if I can get. For some reason, Brother Mitch, I'm not hearing you now at all. I'm not sure why, but I hope you can hear me. That's very interesting. Let me just plug this in, and hopefully, okay, hopefully we could. Yeah, hopefully this camera would be. Well, this is interesting. Okay, all right. So, for some reason, I don't know why, but Brother Mitch, why don't we sort of rejoin the meeting? Just give me 1 second, just 1 second, because this is obviously, this is something. I hope you can hear me. Let me just change the, yeah, I think you can hear me, because I see the levels, the audio levels going up, but I have lost you for some reason. I don't hear I see you, but I don't hear you. So hang on just a second. Let me just plug in this camera. It's too big to go in between my laptop and this bookshelf. I'm gonna plug this in. We'll actually do the, I'm gonna sign out, sign in, and see if it's gonna help. Maybe this is the best way to handle it, is to, yeah, because I don't know why it's not working, but unfortunately sometimes that's what happens. Okay, all right, so plug this in. Okay, all right, so since you can hear me and I cannot hear you, Brother Mitch, why don't we do this? Why don't we log out and then log back in, okay? And then we'll hopefully have the video line and the audio, everything's working perfectly. So let's just do that, and we'll ask God for us to establish this connection, okay? Okay, all right, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I think we're back in. I see you, but I cannot hear you for some reason. I don't know why. Let me check my audio to see if I can, let me see if I can, okay, okay, make post. Okay, so there you go. Let me see if I can, speakers. Oh, okay. I know why. Okay. I think I can hear you now, Brother Mitch.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, it was too many settings for the audio. Okay, for the video, let me figure this one out, because for the video, it's just I only have one camera connected to it. So let me see why it's not doing it. So we finally figured out. So we have the audio that's crystal clear, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now we just need to make the video. So I just stopped the video and I'm going to start the video. Now I just started the video. I'm not sure why it's this background. Let me just turn off the background. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. First time. Usually it flows like perfectly. I don't understand this, and meaning I don't understand why it's doing it this time. It never had an issue.
Right.
So here we go. Video settings. Choose virtual background, none. So there should be just a camera.
Yeah. Camera with a cross through it.
Well, no, it should be, me.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing is a little icon of a camera with a cross through it.
Okay. Should be just me in the camera.
It should be.
Yeah. Add video. Let me add the video. No, I'm not adding the video file. I'm adding me in the video. Why is it not showing the?
Do you want to go onto WhatsApp or something?
I don't have WhatsApp, but I'm gonna make this work here. Just a second, just 1 second. So we have a.
1 minute. 1 minute. I just have to answer a call.
Sure.
Just 1 minute.
Please take your time.
Awesome. Just a second. Never mind. Wrong is wrong, so yeah. Okay. Okay. But I made the film, or I edited the film already. And never mind. It's what? Yeah. Actually. Okay. Okay. I'll see you at 5. Okay. Yeah, okay, bye-bye. You there, Sam?
Yes, I am here. I am here. At least, thank God, we're halfway there. We have the audio going, right?
Yeah.
We have the audio, so we have. I'm looking for the for the camera settings for this computer to see if I can just simply adjust it, or turn it on and off and see maybe it will start. But the light is on. This is what is really, really, really surprising, that the light is on the screen right next to the camera, which means it's on. It's operator, just a second. I have actually on this computer, I have a lock on the camera. So let me push this button and hope you will, brother Mitch, this is just just a second. If this will work, I'm the biggest idiot on the planet, so forgive me. All this time, there's a button on my keyboard. It's a special computer that allows me just with the push of a button to lock the camera. So just a second. Let me find you here. Let me find you, and then when I push this button, you should see me like right away. And if it is, I'm the biggest idiot on the planet. So forgive me. Just a second. Here we go. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's me. It's me. It is the button on my keyboard. When I press on it, watch. See this. It takes me off. Yeah. So now let me remove that little.
No need to apologize.
Yeah.
There's no need to apologize.
Let me remove this little so you could see me. Let me remove this whatever this fuzzy noise is. Let me remove the fuzzy noise and you'll see me.
Fuzzy noise I can deal with. I can see your face. That's the most important.
That's me. We're finally the button right here. See, I press on it and it removes me. I press it again and it turns it back on, and that's what it is. So okay, now that it keeps occasionally happening. I normally just leave it on. I don't know how this just sort of escaped me, but finally, thank God, it's nothing. I didn't need to move any of this, reattach any new cameras. This is it. Everything's working. So let me remove the noise so you can see me very, very crystal clear here. So let me remove the noise just a second. Original ratio, HD. Whoops. Okay. So okay.
There we are.
That's still the little noise. Just a second. Let me. Oh, I know what it is. Let me just untouch this. Touch it back up. Mirror my image. No, we don't want to mirror the image. Adjust for low light. No, it's not the low light. It's the. Okay, so HD. Let's try HD without the. There's something I want to remove that thing, so it's just you see my face basically. Let me just.
Well, the screen before was much better. Just leave it at that. It's all right.
Okay. Just.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be perfect.
We have God's nature. We like perfection. We always try, but yeah. Let me just make it to where it's decent, and then I'll
because to attain perfection is not realistic.
Amen to that, for sure. So let me HD. Where's the background? Just a second. There you go. None. Beautiful. So
you've done all right. Brilliant.
Finally, I'm just gonna do one last thing. I'll mirror my image. Yeah, that's. No, wait a minute. So wait a minute. This is my right hand. I just want to make sure that it's not mirrored the other way, so you could.
Correct. It's good. All is good.
Okay. So finally, let me turn this off, and you could see me, and we could both see each other, and finally everything is kind of normal.
I wish it were that simple with my laptop because I got no idea what I'm doing with computers, to be honest. I really got no idea. And all I know is that I had so many films I needed to get an external hard drive, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got an Apple laptop. It's an old one. It's about 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't go. Let's not go into detail with that. It's just that I've got iMovie. I use iMovie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether you're familiar with that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I, for some reason or other, my project that I was doing, we were filming around Dilijan. Actually, can't remember the name of the little village, but Magaravit, I think it is Magaravit.
Possibly, yeah, I know.
And I think I'm pretty sure the what's the old Russian order? A bit like Amish. What are they called?
Yeah, Fioletova, right? Fioletova. That's the name of yeah.
Fioletova.
Staroveri.
Yeah.
The old
And,
believers. The old believers. Yeah.
Anyway, there's a village in between. That's the Armenian village,
Mhm.
and some friends of ours are staying there. They from Canada,
Mm.
and they did a road trip, and they came at the very beginning of the lockdown,
Mm.
and they got stuck in Armenia for a
Mhm.
year. They haven't been able to get out. They can't get their car out.
Mm.
So they decided, well, let's make the most of it, and they have it. They're in their 70s, mid 70s. You know, it's amazing.
Mm.
So yeah, I'd done quite a bit of work on that video
Mhm.
and had it in the iMovie library. Then when I went to open the iMovie library, I couldn't open it. I could open all the clips,
Mhm.
but I couldn't open the library where I got the project. So I don't know what's going on there.
Brother Mitch, as soon as I get to Yerevan, all of your technical problems will be gone, completely gone, because it's like part of my second nature to me, minus this incident today, which was stupid error on my part. It's just a button I
Don't worry.
needed.
I mean, the fact that what you were doing and the way you were talking yourself through it, it was quite admirable, actually.
Yeah.
You didn't lose.
See, there is another camera I tried to attach, it didn't recognize. There's another camera that I tried to attach, it didn't recognize. There's another camera here, it's too big. It wouldn't I couldn't make it stay there. It was too heavy. It's like one of these. I'm recording this for our private archive. So when we have everything set up, so we'll watch this and maybe have a laugh as far as all this mishap with the connectivity. But I didn't anticipate it, of course. I was hoping for us to.
You got a lot of technology going on there too, by the way.
Yeah, I just technology has been, like I mentioned in my email, since I was a little boy. We've created this, me and Alex.
Yeah.
Of course, now it's
I
all.
love that.
It's like unbelievable. But we connected two thin wires between our apartments, and a little diode, and we grounded one of the wires to the the steam radiator heater, the traditional Armenian Soviet style, and that connected us, and they gave us enough current to actually amplify our voices, and a little speaker on both ends. I was 4, he was 5. He's a year older than me, and so this is most amazing thing. And the neighbors were always saying, "What are these boys doing?" They were kind of, they were getting a little angry, and so it lasted for a few weeks. Then they cut the wires, and we lost a little.
But that's just really amazing.
Yeah.
Did you kind of think it up yourselves, or?
Yes. We said, why don't we have a private communication device? He said, let's do it. So we said, we took one of the speakers, one of those old tank driver speakers that he had, and we unwound the wire, and it was enough distance to run between the two apartments, and that's our kind of a first successful technological device. And then from that point on and on, then I made my own replica of the Revox 700 reel-to-reel tape recorder just a few years down the road from old Soviet parts. It was and so I'm sort of connected to technology quite a bit. And this is why even when I was very little, I noticed that the devil really works with me through technology. I just noticed it. With other people, something else, whatever they're into, you know. But with me, it just happens to be technology. And so now I'm still, you know, Brother Mitch, Brother Petros. I'm still trying to sort of adjust my.
Brother Mitch sounds nice.
Okay.
I actually quite like that.
Okay. So Brother Mitch, when I watched your video, so let me just start where I wanted to start before this little mishap with the camera. So I wanted to tell you that your video really spoke to my heart. It just completely call it. I would just now we're Christians, so God's providence. You recorded it, and I watched it the very same or next day, which is, you know, what do you call that? You just uploaded the video. I watched it. So that tells me there's something beyond just a Google search or whatever, YouTube search. It's something very special. And the way you spoke, would like to tell you this, that if you changed one thing in it, the delivery, or if it was more fancy, special effects, I think, especially in America, it loses a lot of audience. It loses authenticity. Yeah. And if you added those things, I don't know if I would have been attracted to that, but because you didn't, thank God. Please don't add any more in the future, like fancy special effects like some people make. It's only going to distract the audience, I believe, because I was attracted to you and your message instead of the special effects.
Absolutely. I think some people have said, "Oh, you know, Mitch, why don't you add music?" I've got music in some of my videos, like just a very it's soft background music. These were the more scenic ones, I could say. But whenever Sonia and I speak, I believe you're absolutely right. We should not have any background. The one we did today, I can honestly say I don't know how we even did it, because I said to Sonia, "Look, we've just got no time left. I'm getting really busy now with this new work, answering lots of emails, etc. It might not sound like a lot of work, but I want to do my best for the Lord and for Armenia." And I said, "I just don't know where we're going to find time." So we have to get up early in the morning and go to this park and try and find where Sam's his apartment block.
I used to walk there with.
I think we ended up filming the wrong one, because if you're looking from not Fuchek Street, but the other one, what was the other one? Punjab?
Alabian, yeah.
Alabian?
Yeah.
If you're looking from there, you can see the Ministry of whatever it is now. I can't remember.
Justice.
And your apartment block is right behind there, or it's in the same place. Is that right, or somewhere else?
Well, I'll tell you what. See, the thing is, if you're looking towards Mount Ara, the Kievan Bridge, you can kind of catch that wind. There's a narrow path. So as I was playing on the parking lot of at that time was the Institute of Physics, it was a round parking lot. I don't even know what it looks like. It was round, like circular. So I was playing there. I could catch with my eyes. It was a narrow pathway. I saw the Kievan Bridge, and Titsunakaberd was here, so it was behind the Mount Ara. But then if you go down into the ravine, that's the River Razdan. That's where the big park was. Huge park. It was like there was fountains and cafes and stuff like that. And
well,
so,
anyway,
did you go into the ravine or?
Anyway, we were around the area. We went to what's now called just on Halabian. I can't remember the junction, but there's a big, huge park there with a lake. You probably remember that. It's not far from where you would have lived, and that's all been redeveloped. So we started filming from there, and then I thought, no, that's not the place that he's talking about. There's a medical institute just right there as well. So we went down Foot Street, and then we came down to the T junction, and then we did a left, heading towards Alabian.
Yep.
And then I saw this ministry that you were talking about. You said that it was a medical institute, and now it's a ministry of something. I can't remember.
Oh no, the medical is medical. It's called the in Russian Respublikanskaya Больница, or the Republican Medical Center. That's at the very top of Fuchik Street. Street. So that's where you probably filmed in that Tumanyan Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as you come down the Fuchik Street, it T-bones at Alabian Street, and that's the Institute of Physics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Institute of Physics, right? So anyway, we were around there, and then we went to the park that is now called Tumo Gardens Park.
Okay.
Know where the Tumo Centre is?
Probably that's the one in the ravine, right, by the Razdan River.
By the ravine, yeah. It's not right down in it, but it's right next to the ravine. And that's a beautiful park now. So we did a little bit of filming there. Anyway, you should get some nice memories from that.
Well, thank you.
We can,
I can't wait, Brother Mitch, can't wait, because, there was a metro station that we're building right there. And I asked a few people recently, they haven't finished it yet.
No.
Not from 30 years ago. It's still, it has a...
Look, they started it, I remember, I think when we came over, they had already closed it up. And that would have gone right under the park.
Yeah.
And so
it's still not finished.
I think there might be plans in the future, but honestly, it's these are the sort of projects I think that the government would love to do. Finish. I can vouch for that almost, but where's the money going to come from? So, I mean, I think we're not very well off financially in our government.
Yeah.
So, we see a big potential in Armenia. I mean, we're a very, very small nation of people, at least those that are living in Armenia. But there is huge potential. We people like you and others who've contacted us, and those that you mentioned in the email, man, I mean, it's enormous. If we can kind of maybe see Armenia as like this hub of technology or something, I don't know. It would be amazing. As far as physical trade goes, they're not so well because we're landlocked.
Yeah.
And Georgia's not terribly friendly with us, but they're okay. I mean, we can get on with them. We can get on with Iran, but Turkey and Azerbaijan are different.
That's a problem. Yeah, that's a big problem. Yeah.
But we see huge potential, and we've got now some very, very positive people. In government and NGOs and private sector. They're optimists, and Hayek is one of them, and he's a great bloke. You'll love him. You'll be able to speak to him pretty much just as you're speaking to me. I mean, some more technical words might catch him out, but
But I mean, he speaks Russian, of course. I hope. Right?
Russian, speaks Russian.
Great, fantastic. Because
Russian, and he's fluent in English. I mean,
he's fluent. Okay. Well, Brother Mitch, I don't even know where to start, so I'm going to just sort of pile all the data on you, so you'll sort of. I'll slowly get to the story in Dilijan, but it's just this is just saying hello, like an introduction. So we sort of get
that's the way it should be.
And then the story about Dilijan is, I never told anybody because they would tell me I'm crazy, but it's spiritual. It's because you're a Christian, I'm a Christian. This is the only way I can connect the dots. And I'll tell you just a few other things, before I even get to the story. So 79, we left Yerevan. 1979. I was 5 years old. So we lived in the Ukraine and in Latvia. So I haven't been in Armenia since about the last time I believe was 1986, if I remember correctly. I was still a little boy. I was still either 6 or 7 or 8, something like that, in 1986. So, and we would come down to visit. We still have an apartment. We actually that apartment on Fuchika Street. That's the my father. I guess somehow he gave it to my brother Constantine, my uncle Constantine, and so we would come to stay there. But it was technically kind of their apartment already. They made some kind of a trade. Anyway, so we would just come down for, my mother would call it the apricot season, you know, like in July and August. So we'd come down and I would stay. But my last visit was in 1986, I believe, something like that. Around. So I haven't been to Armenia. I haven't seen other than on YouTube videos, which is, I'm glad that there's YouTube so I can travel virtually and see it. It's fantastic. So I have lived most of my life in the United States, most of my adult. I came to New York City when I was 17 and a half, almost 18. So I've learned all of the biblical terms and names in English only. So I know them intimately, like Jacob with Esau, they're twins. Jacob tried to, meaning he's the trickster who tried to get out by catching the ankle of his brother Esau, and Esau sold his birthright and for a little porridge or something, a soup, a bowl of soup. But all these stories from cover to cover, from Old Testament to New Testament, I know by heart, and all the names in English. And so when I tried to, past tense, to share them or connect with any of the Armenian people, any of the Russian people, nobody knows them. Nobody knows the names or the stories. Zero. And I asked them, so you go to church and you don't know any of this? I said, no, nobody taught us. They can only light a candle. So anyway, this is just a background of what I'm sharing with you so that you can kind of understand it. I practically kind of sort of a little bit became American in terms of, the culture and the biblical education and all absorbed that, thank God. And I notice there's a vacuum in Armenia, unfortunately, when it comes to, I hope the priests know all these biblical stories, and they should. But the rest of the population is kind of, from what I could gather, is ignorant or uninformed, underinformed.
Yeah.
Is that about accurate? It's not like in the West where everybody knows the story. It's like they don't know anything about the Bible, pretty much.
Let me say this.
Sure.
If the priests knew those stories and knew them in a spiritual context, okay, it's one thing to know the history. It's one thing to put it in. It's another to put it into the spiritual context.
Yes.
And make that relevant for today. And how all of those stories basically lead us to one person, Jesus Christ. If the priests knew those stories in a spiritual context, then the people would be educated. But I don't believe the priests do. There is way too much focus on the ceremonial aspect of our church. I say our church because I consider myself Armenian, and I cut a long story short. I've been through so many different churches, Sam, and studied theology and got very confused in the end. And I was even an elder in a church, Presbyterian church, Scottish Presbyterian church actually. And not that that matters, but I kind of felt that the Spirit was draining out of me. Man can make a mess of a lot of things. When it comes to churches, boy, he can really make a mess. And I still believe that the Armenian Apostolic Church, in its foundation, is right. the liturgy, there's nothing wrong with the liturgy. It's just that the priests don't apply these precious teachings and lead the people to an intimate knowledge of Christ. They don't know really how to do that. There might be a few. There might be a few. But I came to this kind of sister church, believe it or not, the Coptic Orthodox Church.
Oh, yes, yes.
And they are very spiritual church. Well, a lot of them. And a lot of the priests are very, very good teachers.
Was it Ethiopian or Armenian Coptic? Ethiopian?
No, Coptic is Egyptian.
Egyptian, okay.
Ethiopian is a sister to the Egyptian. So it's, they're similar. Very, very similar. So, yeah, I mean, there was a patriarch called Pope Shenouda III, and he was an amazing teacher. Man, if you listen to his teaching and listen to his voice and how he teaches about the Lord, sends shivers up your spine. And those sort of people are few and far between in the Orthodox world. So I just assumed that the Armenian Apostolic, being a sister church, would be like that. But when I came to Armenia, I saw something different. We still go occasionally. We don't go all the time, actually. But there are some very good, very nice brothers and sisters that we have who are quite knowledgeable and do know the Bible. But yeah, it doesn't. Sorry, I kind of cut you off from your train of thought, but yeah, I thought I'd just say that.
Oh no, that's great, because I'll even bring my microphone closer so you can maybe even hear me even better. But I'm just trying to perfect everything. So the audio, now we have the video. So I'm just slowly getting to the Diligent story, where it's really, Brother Mitch, it's really something. It's something that is, I'm just now, by just talking with you, I'm beginning to understand the full kind of importance or gravity of that incident, what happened to me. Well, first of all, when I was born in Yerevan at that hospital, I've already mentioned in my email, but I'll say it since we're not talking kind of face to face. I was, I believe, one out of just a few infants that was saved. My aunt, who worked as a nurse at a different hospital, came and literally kidnapped me from that hospital because infants were dying. And my mother was still, they wouldn't let the mothers leave yet, but they kept the babies separated, and the babies got infected. All of the infants got infected. So I was, I believe, miraculously saved because of the intervention of, I believe God had to send my aunt to save me. Otherwise I would not be talking to you, period.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Another incident happened years later on Fuchik Street that, I'll probably tell you once we meet, but I almost got killed by a car. And the third incident, the big one, is in Diligent. And after that, my parents said, enough is enough. This is crazy. This is not life for a little son. What is this? This is insane. And they just decided to move, because either pretty much, like they say in English, the third time is the charm, meaning will there be a fourth, sort of a miraculous, and they decided to just leave, because 3 times I almost lost my life, kind of disappeared, whatever. It's insane. So I'm there's something was very, very, the way I would describe what happened is this, like children, they have certain premonition or certain intuition. As children cannot even speak. The way I would describe, the way I saw it, is just dark energy. This black something terrible, horrible, scary was hovering in the air, so to speak. This is the best description I could give you of how I felt during all those times, except for the third one. And by the way, just to not to jump ahead or behind, just so that you know, I'm divorced at this point, and my wife was American. We decided not to have children because, well, she wanted to, but we were already separating. And I said, let's not traumatize our children. This is insane. If we're not going to be together, what's the point of having children? She said, well, no. Why don't we have some children? I said, no. If we're staying together or not? She said, no. I said, no. Why? This is insane. Why would you want to have children if we're divorcing each other? So anyway, we don't have children, and she was American. She was not Russian or Armenian, and so my future wife, my plan, I'm simply sharing with you, my future wife, I decided for just logical reasons, there's another way to describe it, she has to be either Russian or Armenian. This is just sort of what I chose to have. She won't be French, she won't be from Israel, she will be from either Armenia or Russia. This is kind of a sorted things out in my mind.
So this is not, you don't have one, you don't have a future wife.
No, not yet, because I'm thinking with all these changes and the COVID happened and everything else happens, that if I'm going to be moving to Armenia, this is probably where I should be kind of, preparing to meet my future wife.
So you're around late 40s, 50? Something like that.
Mid-40s.
Mid-40s.
But still kind of a young spirit. I jog, exercise, I do all kinds of things, bike and swim. So
age is no barrier to love, and you'll be in my prayers regarding that.
Right.
It's obvious that you would like one day to find your mate, and after all that happened in my life, I won't go into great details about that, but I found myself alone, and as I told you, in that dark place, and I remember not long after that, I just prayed to the Lord, if you truly want me to marry again. I was married before, and I don't tell many people that. Please, you show me the way, because I don't want to make any more mistakes. And if I have to live alone the rest of my life, please give me the strength to be able to do that. Otherwise, I just trust you, and I pray that I may meet a godly woman. And within a week or two, I think it was two, Sonia came along out of nowhere.
Amazing.
And somebody that I'd never ever expected to meet in all my life. Armenian, I didn't even know really what that was, where it was. Yeah. I knew of course I'd read about it in the Bible, but it's only mentioned a couple of times, and of course Ararat, but you don't pay attention. And here we are, here we are 15, 17, how many, 17 years later. And we've been here 7 years, and we love it. We love it here. It's presented its challenges, and but she's my soulmate. We understand what our relationship is, and that Christ is the head of our relationship, and it's wonderful.
Oh, praise God! Praise God! 17 years, you said?
We've been married 17 years.
How did you meet? Like on the street?
She. I was then working in disability sector in the healthcare industry, and we had a project whereby severely disabled and brain injured adults, instead of putting them and leaving them in an institution, the project was to try to integrate them into society by building a specially adapted house for them, or houses, with 5 residents in each one. There was 15 residents altogether. It was difficult, hard, but so rewarding, because we could see that they were beginning to flourish as much as they could when you're brain injured and physically disabled from either an accident or by birth or whatever. And we had permanent staff, of which I was one, and I was like the team leader, and we had agency staff, which we would ring up for whenever we needed them. And Sonia was an agency staff who came along one day, and honestly, I wasn't looking at women, and I can strangely, I don't mean to be boastful or proud when I say this, but they were looking at me. Many of the nurses, and I just wasn't interested. I just didn't want to go there. I just didn't. And there was one Catholic lady. She was very, very good, and she helped me a lot to kind of, get back into a relationship with God. Although she was a little bit crazy when it came to different things, but never mind. She was a good person. But she wasn't the one. Sonia came along, and I don't know. She's just an amazing person. Really, a gift from God.
Well, praise God, Brother Mitch. That's what I'm hoping will happen to me also when I come to Yerevan, and everything will sort of happen in that miraculous way. That's why I mentioned she won't be from France, she won't be from Israel, she'll be either from Armenia or from Russia, because I have to have that. It must be that kind of a connection, and it would be easier, and everything else would be a little bit just, it just makes more sense, basically. So, but what happened in Dilijan is just absolutely, there's only, I'm still preparing you for that story, because it's really, Brother Mitch, I don't even know, and I know you're sitting down. Thank God you're sitting down, because that is absolutely out of this world story. So I was 5. We were driving to Dilijan from Yerevan. We had a little white car. It's the 06, Zhiguli 06. Yeah.
Zhiguli.
Yeah. But at that time it was brand new. We just brought it from Latvia.
They're still driving around in them now.
They're still driving it around. Yeah, 06 with 4 headlights, right? 2 and 2. Yeah. So it was brand new. It was at that time very, very brand spanking new. It was like the car to have, and it was very, very hard to get. Even if you paid, it was just, everything was scarce at that time. You couldn't. It was special connections. It was brought from Latvia to Yerevan, and so it was a pit stop in the mountains on that Serpentine Road. And I would recognize it if I went there. I would know that spot, and I would like to find that spot. But here's what happened. We all got out. My parents got out, I got out. And my mother said, "Oh, what a beautiful view." Women like the mountains.
Yeah.
My father was looking at the tires. And then my mother said, "Where's their son?" And they kind of looked around, and they didn't see me, they didn't find me. And my father said, "Don't worry, he'll probably, he's hiding under the car or something like that," because they looked, they didn't see me. Now, Brother Mitch, I'll tell you what I saw from my vantage point, from my perspective. And I was 5, so I was completely conscious. I remember things, I remember the car, I remember the smell of the car, I remember everything. I actually stepped into what seemed to be like a different dimension. Some kind of a portal opened up. I stepped into it, and it was no longer this 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional world. It was a different reality, where I could still pose a question, except it wasn't a human language. It was another kind of a language. And in that dimension, there was no time. So I could ask as many questions as fast as I can, but because there was no time, it was like I was asking them and receiving answers at the speed of light, kind of It's a never-ending cycle, like question, answer, question, answer, question. Very, very rapid, super beyond comprehension, beyond human comprehension. And even though I was 5, I was asking grown-up questions like why there are wars, who is God, why do we die, how long, why do we only live for a limited number of years on this planet, where is our planet in terms of the totality of our humanity, all these questions. And to me it was a few short minutes, but to them, to my parents, I was gone for an hour. They couldn't find me.
Wow.
My mother was hysterical when I reappeared. She said, "Where were you hiding?" And my father said, "See, I told you, we're going to find him." My father was trying to levitate the situation. My mother was crying and hysterical. She thought I jumped off the ledge because there was the abyss, but I couldn't have. I just walked out of the car. I got out of the car, and I would needed to run about 20 meters, 30 meters to it, and there was no time. And they would have seen the precipice and me running towards it, and I didn't. I got out and I disappeared. And they looked under the car. I was nowhere to be found. So my mother was hysterical. I said, well, I was right here. To me, it was a very, very brief moment in time. But Brother Mitch, here's the really the most difficult part is I kind of asked so many questions that I kind of asked what's going to happen pretty much in the future. So every important meeting that I've had along my life path, I was stunned because it would be a deja vu experience. It was 100% like I was there. I was saying, "My God, this is I'm reliving it." And so this Armenia connection, us talking, is precisely from that experience. This is not by accident. And I'm going to tell you this, so just you can, however way you want to take it, you could take it. But and I'm not interested in that. My purpose in coming to Armenia is to relax. I love to play tennis. I want to play tennis and just relax and eat some horowats, shish kebab. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. I don't have any other desire but unfortunately from that incident on Mount Dilishan, on the road to Dilishan, I believe that through you and through Hike and all of your Christian friends, I believe that I will be in Yerevan being prepared for, I don't like the word groomed, but because it has a slightly negative connotation, but I will be prepared for, I don't want it, but it's what I understand is that might happen, could happen, but again, Brother Mitch, in all humility, I want to say it from the message I received, okay? I will be prepared for leading the nation of Armenia to become the first Christian president who will start his every speech publicly, in front of all the people in Armenia, instead of saying some silly political things, praising God and quoting the Bible and starting every single one of my conversations with the people of Armenia. It's a short story about the Bible, so that they'll know. It's something that I would never have to read because it's already in my mind. Remember, I grew up pretty much in America, so all of the stories are with me. So, and this is what I believe where it's headed. Even though I have zero desire to take upon myself this enormous, crazy responsibility, I have zero desire. I just want to lead a very peaceful life. But if everything that happened up until this point, Brother Mitch, it's going to line up, that's where it's headed. And Armenia will have the first Christian English-speaking president that was educated in the West and doesn't have the mentality of this bribery and this corruption and this. I can actually help in that perspective, help rebuild Armenia in a Western way, make it more efficient, fix all the roads, bring the infrastructure, bring the all the Armenians back, like what you're doing, you know, in a organized countrywide kind of a calling them back to come to Yerevan. So in that essence, I would be unique from that perspective, because really you just take, almost like you take an American that has some Armenian in him, insert him into Yerevan, and he's old enough to be a president. And so, and nobody is, in other words, it sounds crazy, I know, but this is what kind of I wanted to share with you, like this, face to face, so you could see my face and you could see what happened in Dilijan. So again, if it happens, I don't want it, because it's an enormous responsibility. It's not for me. I just want to play tennis in Yerevan. That's it.
Well, you know, when God lays something on our hearts, it's something that it just doesn't go away. I knew also from before, quite a few years before, I suppose, we actually came to Armenia, that God wanted me to come to Armenia. It was His will for me to go and to try to help Armenia. I didn't have a specific from God about how, but I envisaged myself in some kind of role, kind of leadership role. And I mean, I wasn't looking for that either. I honestly wasn't. Who am I? I mean, I'm a nobody. But God can use nobodies. He can use anybody if they are of a humble and contrite heart, and they open to His will. They understand who they are as sinful human beings, and saved by the grace of God, and are being saved by the grace of God. And so, when I was 20, as your story is your amazing story, and which comes from the heart, is quite similar to mine. Because I was clinically dead on a road. I was on a motorbike, and I thought I was invincible. 20 years of age, you know, I can do anything. On my brand new Honda Goldwing, before the fully fared big ones, it was a 76 model or something like that. I think one of the first of its type. And I was going probably much faster than I should have on a main road in the city. So I was probably going about 80. The motor was so quiet, I had no idea really, but I knew I was probably speeding. Anyway, car came out from the side street. It was an offset intersection. She came straight across in front of me, and it's like my life, you know, I thought, what do I do? I either go into a plate glass window of a shop, I go into oncoming traffic, or I hit it. It was just happened like that. There was no time to think, really hardly any time to brake there. In fact, there were no skid marks. And I ploughed straight into a car, and all I remember was flying over the car and looking at the sky. And then I thud on the ground. Next thing I saw was I was above the scene of the accident. I can't say that I saw any tunnels, bright lights, anything like that, but I saw myself lying on the roadway and with my bike, you know, on the other side of the car. And I had no pain. I just saw myself. And then in an instant, I felt pain. I was there physically. And what had happened was my heart had stopped, and an off-duty ambulance a driver was coming the other way. I think you call them paramedics in
America, yeah.
Paramedic, who happened to be a police officer also.
What do you call them in Australia?
Well, we call them they're within the ambulance attendants, but not all of them are paramedics. Not all of them are trained, I think, in that way, but let's call them paramedics.
Okay.
So yeah, he saw me flying through the air, landing on the road, and quickly came and resuscitated me.
Mm.
CPR. And I do remember. I remember something. I don't know whether I said this before or after. I just said, I didn't know the Lord, but I just said, God, I don't want to die. I'm not ready to die yet.
Mm.
And just this enormous pain I felt all over my body. Started coughing up blood and stuff like that. Anyway, so that was a pivotal moment in my life. But I got married to my nurse, who was in. I didn't even know it. I knew her for 10 days.
Wow.
10 days, and I was a really shy guy. I have not told this story I don't know why I'm telling you, but I just feel that I can, because you've told me this amazing story about your. Anyway, 20 years later, 4 children later, we got divorced.
Mm.
I won't go into all that. I was not unfaithful to her at the time, but I obviously didn't do certain things right. I wasn't attentive enough. I'd gone overseas with her. I realised, we'd sold our home in order for me to go over and pursue this dream of becoming a minister and studying for 7 years in America. That was the plan, and it didn't work out.
Did you come to America?
Yeah. I was in New Jersey and Florida, Cape May.
Okay.
Cape May in New Jersey and Cape Canaveral in Florida.
Wow. For how long?
Altogether a year
Okay.
there. And from there went to Singapore.
I see.
And these were insignificant colleges. I mean, they were once upon a time.
Mm.
They had some significance, but people wouldn't even know they existed now.
Mm.
A pretty narrow focused kind of church that I came to understand.
Mm.
Anyway, so when you say what happened to you, I had a similar out-of-body experience.
Mm.
And I know that there is a demonic world also. That's a given, but I know that in a physical way also. I won't go into that, but I know the dark side of this. And so, dear brother, if God has laid this on your heart, you obviously are in prayer about that all the time. And rest assured that I understand now why you wanted to speak with me instead of the three of us. Because I certainly won't share that with Hayek. It's something that's up to you whether you ever wish to share that with anybody. But that's not something. I'm just going to say that I had a great meeting with brother Sam, and I think he's a great guy, a genuine guy.
Mm.
And so what you're saying is remarkable. Look, I don't know about Nicole Pashinyan. Hayek has had a personal meeting with him or with others in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing Hayek asked him was, what is the most important thing to you in life?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, it's God.
Mm.
My relationship with God or something along those lines. Now, I don't know how deep that goes, but that's something quite interesting. Personally, I think he's a good man. He has good intentions. Whether or not he's not a perfect man, he's not a perfect leader. Maybe made quite a few mistakes, maybe during this war. I don't know. but he didn't have great, competent people around him either. That's a given, even in the army. So, dear brother, just keep laying this before the Lord, and it's an amazing thing. It's amazing how at 5 years of age you were given that amazing insight. I call it, the insight's not the correct word.
Experience. At 5, I mean, what's your parents' recollection of that? Can I answer that? Yeah, they said that I've simply disappeared. They couldn't find me. That's it.
For an hour, you had just disappeared.
I disappeared, and then when
was the last time they saw you?
At the time while we were in the car.
When you were in the car was the last time they saw you.
Yeah, as we
they didn't. You get out of the car.
As soon as we got out, they lost track of me.
Right. When did they see you again?
Around the car, when I sort of reappeared.
Around the car?
Yeah.
Somewhere around the car?
Around the car.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and all I saw at the time of sort of using the kind of a terminology of not a channel, but I guess a channel, yeah, it was bright lights, so it was the red, blue, white, and I believe yellow or something like that, green, and so it was like not a rainbow, but it was like a strange kind of a bright pattern of these lights. And as soon as I started in my mind asking, what is this? I received an answer. Then I went into that sort of like a portal, like a channel. It wasn't a tube where there's the light at the end of the tunnel, none of that. It's just a bizarre, bright colors. I said, what is that? And I was given the most detailed explanation for there was a reason behind those colors. And then the next question, I received an answer. Then the next question I received, and then I realized, wow, this is a kind of a question-answer type of a interesting place. And I asked, well, what is this place? Where am I? What is happening here? And I was given an answer. This is where all the souls come to sort of hover or to be maintained and to be safe. And then, Brother Mitch, right before I came back to the reality, to my parents, so to speak, to the car, my final sort of a remark was, if all of this information is widely available, meaning so easily accessible to most people, like it's like in front of our eyes, it's just hidden, but it's like that separation it's right there, we just don't see it. But all of that, what I saw, and all of that, the angels, demons, and God and everything, all the dynamics right in front of us, we're just hidden from it with a very thin layer of film. But it's happening in front of our eyes, we just can't see it. Like we all have our guardian angels, we can't see them, but they're there. And I asked this, my final question to that voice was answering to me. I said, well, why is it that nobody knows any of this? Because it would make our lives so much easier. We would be so much more perfect.
Yeah.
And the answer, as always, came back to because we are not ready as human beings. We would use this knowledge for evil. We would find a way to do something with it, to make a profit, to use it for evil. Yeah. And that's where I realized that I was perhaps allowed to have access to that reality because I was innocent as a child. If I was in the adult state, probably
absolutely.
not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing. Really. How did that experience affect your childhood as you were becoming, into adulthood? How did that stay with you? All of that, did did it come back at periods of time, or did it always stay with
Yeah, no, it's you're just amazing the way you ask your questions. Actually, it stayed with me until I was about the age of, I want to say, from 5 until about 7 or 8. I would occasionally get audible warnings not to go somewhere, and I would ask why, and then sometimes I would look over and there will be a huge accident there. It was like literally my guardian angel would tell me, do not go there. And I would always say why. And I would look over and there will be a huge accident or something like that, multiple times. Yeah, because when we moved from Yerevan, you know, I would commute to school. I started school, everything was normal, and then I would take a bus, then take a subway. It's like an hour ride to school, because we used to live right by the school. Then we moved away to a new apartment building, new place, and so I decided to re-enroll back to my old school, because I knew all my friends and the school and everything else. So the commute was an hour long, one way. So I would go rush hour there to school, rush hour back, and I've seen all kinds of things, and I was always protected, 100% of the time. And but occasionally I would hear a voice that would audibly tell me by my name, don't go there. In a very calm, peaceful voice. And I would always say, why? And then I would learn, or it would tell me it's dangerous, and so my life was saved beyond that many times, from what I can remember. Then it stopped. There's no more warnings, no more voices, no more premonitions of any kind. At the age of about 9 or 10, it stopped completely. Like zero. I became an adult pretty much, like adult life. No supernatural things.
Yeah, that's amazing. That really is amazing. I don't know how I can be, how I can say, I feel so deeply privileged that you shared that with me. I don't know, it's not something that you share with everybody, and you would certainly be cautious, very cautious about who you would ever share that with. So, I want to give you a heads up. In about 15 minutes max, I'm going to have to go.
Sure.
I'm really, really sorry, but I have to go pick up my beloved.
Sure.
And so yeah. What else was I going to say? As a child, my parents divorced when I was 5 or 6, I can't remember. But it wasn't a happy home. And why I know that is because of what my sisters told me. I had twin sisters 11 years older than me. But I have no memory, none, of my mum and dad ever being together. None at all. It's like, it's completely wiped. They obviously were together in the house, but I never have a memory of them together. I have a memory of my sisters, my grandparents who lived in a adjoining home. We call them granny flats in Australia. I had wonderful memories of them, but with my mum and dad, no. And one day mum said, we're going to go away for a holiday for the weekend. I never came back.
Wow.
And I was just alone. I didn't know what was going on. And I just went into God must have been protecting me, because I would just go off on my bike or walk to the back of the yard where the river was, a dangerous river, by the way. And I would just be thinking all the time. Deep thoughts, even as a child, about what's the meaning of all of this, I couldn't make sense of it. But I think God was comforting me. He was obviously protected me from some perilous situations. So, in many ways we have some similarities.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's amazing. God is amazing. And
if indeed this whole thing will come to pass, that somehow when I come to Armenia, everything will be slowly kind of lining up, and somehow, I don't know how, but it's all in God's hands. You know, it's just a miracle that I even left Armenia, that I'm sort of being brought back to Yerevan here and just shortly, and the whole thing, you know, I believe that another thing that I was going to share with you real quickly, you know, it's that the Mount Ararat will very soon belong to our Armenia again in a peaceful way. There won't be any war. It will be just diplomatically negotiated. So that area of where Mount Ararat will be
I hope so.
Part of Armenia, and it will be some kind of a special trade or something, you know.
Well, you know, it was 100 years ago or something like that. It was divided off from the main part of Armenia.
Yeah.
And after 100 years, it's supposed to be given back.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be. But you know, the Armenians have always claimed it.
Yeah.
Either physically or spiritually as their own. It stands like a beacon, as you described. Every time I see Ararat, I'm just in awe of it. It has a mystical pull about it.
Mm-hmm.
Some idiot the other day was saying, Mitch, don't you know that Mount Ararat is in Africa? I didn't even bother responding. I just thought, what an idiot. Well, the biblical Mount Ararat is in Africa.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get those sort of people. My prayer for Armenia is that and Armenians, is that we would stop fighting amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Stop trying to, the scriptures teach us in Christ said, love your enemies.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to love what they do to us. Nobody said you have to love what they do. If they do some wicked things, but we don't have to do back to them in vicious words.
Mm.
You see, you know, I'm not on Facebook, but I know that there are many bad comments to and fro between Armenians and Azerbaijanis. Well, why? I mean, if you're Christians,
mm-hmm.
and obviously there's the answer, they're not.
Yeah.
Or they don't understand. You know, they haven't learnt truly, and no one's taught them, no one's shown them the way.
Yeah.
So if and when you come, I pray that you'll be used of God
mm-hmm.
in a mighty way, with or without this technology that you wish to launch in Armenia. And know that we will do everything that we can to support you with that. Really will. I mean, I have absolute faith in Hayek and our team. And I know a Christian brother from Lebanon. He's a historian, a famous Armenian historian. He's a true Christian, and he may be joining our team also.
Okay.
So some Christians are coming together, and somehow or other, I don't know quite how or why, but they're coming even through my channel.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
I don't understand why that is, but I just say, Lord, I don't know is this what you want us to do? We'll just keep doing it. We've got a family from Austria coming, and they've got no Armenian connection whatsoever. But she's Iraqi Christian. She's a true Christian, and also a Canadian family that's come now living in Dilijan, and he's amazing with I think it's called digital transfer. He's an absolute whiz with that.
He transfers photographs to digital or print.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just giving a very basic description of what he does, but digitizing
photographs.
Yeah, and making it safe. He's very conservative about what should be available online and what shouldn't, and all that sort of stuff. So, he's amazing, and he's doing pro bono work for the government. He's got his own online work that he does from home, and thank God we have a reliable enough internet where that's possible. I just thank God for this, and obviously others have come because God is calling them. Never mind my channel, but if I can help, God can use my inferior words, basic put together videos for His glory, then praise the Lord.
Yes, Brother Mitch, that's usually the best. That's usually the best that works, because every time something's overcomplicated or made so fancy, it loses. I believe it loses its sort of a potency and and by the way, you promise with Hike's help we can get me that citizenship. My old passport could be renewed and would be no problem.
I believe. I believe even your old Soviet one. I'm almost certain that Sonia said to me, "Look, even she was going to, even though she's a now Armenian citizen, she's got dual citizenship with Australia too, but she was thinking about getting her Russian citizenship. There's really not a need for it, but I believe it can be done via the old.
I simply I wanted to just sort of bring it to show you that I was born in Armenia, but it's no longer valid because its Soviet Union is gone. It was just a proof.
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
No. That doesn't matter. I don't think you're not going to have any problems. Okay. We're going to ensure that you don't have any problems.
Thank you.
The Lord will ensure that you don't have any. If He wants you to come to Armenia, He's going to make the way possible. If He doesn't, every bridge is going to be closed.
Yeah. See, because if I were to apply for Armenian citizenship, I would have to use my American passport. And this is where I'm trying, instead of using that, I'm trying to use my old passport, saying, look, I was born here, I would like to renew this and make it an Armenian passport, become an Armenian citizen, That shouldn't be a problem, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, because you don't forget, you've got 180 days on your American passport to come to Armenia, to come and stay in Armenia,
right,
without visa. So, also Sonia works for the US Embassy. She's not in a high position or anything like that, but she can ask some questions if we need to. But I don't think it'll need to come to that. And I'm almost certain that you'll be able to get the honorary citizenship. Yeah. I'm almost certain of that. I mean, it's even in the legislature.
Yeah. So that's great. Yeah.
I don't see why not. So long as you do bring it.
Of course. Yeah. No, that would be great. That would be great. So I mean, Brother Mitch, this is an amazing thing. You shared with me something so personal. I shared with you something that I haven't shared with anybody else, and I believe this is our kind of the cutting edge spiritual sort of connection here. It doesn't get any, I believe it doesn't get any more spiritual than that, because beyond that, this is where we depart and we join the Lord, and then there's a different kind of a life.
Absolutely.
So we'll just try to make Armenia great again, as much as we can with all of our resources. So
now, do you want to have a think about a meeting with Hike as well in the future? What do you think?
Oh, no. I mean, I don't mind at all. As far as meeting with the three of us on Zoom. There would be no problem. Just tell me, what is he like as far as, is he mostly just handling business? He's not too spiritual, or is he, like, what is he like as a person?
He's a very spiritual man. We talk about what we're talking about now.
Okay.
And everything is about the Lord. he believes it's God's will for him to be here.
Mm.
It's not just a matter of, oh, there's an opportunity that came up and Hayek comes over with his family. No,
Yeah.
it's all about the Lord. And he's a deeply spiritual man, and you'll love him. I believe you can't help but love this man. He's very humble, extremely humble man. I wish I was 1/10 of Hayek, to be honest.
Mm. And how old is he approximately?
Approximately. That's a good question. I never asked.
We say in America ballpark. Do you say that in Australia? Ballpark?
Ballpark is around. He must be late 30s.
Late 30s. Okay.
40.
Okay.
Yeah, no more than that. He's also got a brother. He's also a Christian, and he's working for the team.
Okay.
He's come too. So we got a pretty good start, thanks to God.
Yeah.
Our team is very focused on the job that we've got. It's a big job.
Mm.
It's a completely new sphere for me, but God has put me here. For I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
At this Zoom meeting with you, I just said, Lord, I don't know what to say. You please give me the words to speak. I don't want to say anything I shouldn't, and go before me, before us.
Brother Mitch, you're the first person that I shared the what happened when I was going for an hour there. You know, nobody else was ready for that. You're the first one. And I kept all these years, I kept all this information because nobody else that I knew was on that spiritual level that I could share and say, this is what I've experienced, this is what happened to me, this is what actually happened when I disappeared. You're the first person, and you know, obviously that has a special significance because when I come to Armenia, I believe this is my sort of the rest I've already accomplished. You know, I have the U.S. citizenship. I'll bring the new technology. The rest is sort of ready for Armenia. So in other words, everything that I'll be doing and accomplishing will be in Armenia for Armenia. And just the fact that I speak English and Russian and Armenian is marvelous in itself. It's
big bonus.
Yeah.
Big bonus.
Yeah.
And we have to do that as a nation. We have to get better at communicating with the outside world. We have to become part of the global economy, not somehow just dealing with Russia and I don't know, tentatively put our foot here and there, but we obviously have to do that cautiously, and wisely. But with people like you, with your expertise, with your faith, I think we're on the right track.
Well, I most certainly hope so. And now you mentioned briefly that there was a little kind of a tense situation with the Catholicos of all Armenians, like he's causing some major issues. What is he doing?
Well, he's not a believer.
Oh my God!
I can't see that he's a believer.
You mean he just got in because it's a special position of power? That's it.
He's a former KGB agent.
Oh my God! Oh my God! That's crazy. That's insane.
I mean, the historian I told you about, and one other priest who we have a very close relationship with, they know this man. They know who he is. We know people who've been very close to him. One photographer, his personal photography, couldn't work with him any longer. He saw too much. He said, "I can't anymore. I can't." And he's got bishops around him that they're just his puppies. And it's a business, dear brother. It's a shocking thing. Once he said in an airport, I don't know where it was, in Germany or something, somebody asked him a question about Jesus, and he said, if we leave, Jesus will be in peace. What? No, even if that was taken, even if he didn't mean what he said,
Yeah.
you should never, ever say that.
Right. Right. And he didn't even know that he wasn't supposed to even
He's
say
not,
something.
he's not a believer. Sonia used to know him from when she was a tourist guide in the former Soviet Union.
Mm.
Not personally, but had dealings with him and others from that.
Yeah.
It was put there by Robert Kacharian.
Mm.
It was a deal done.
Mm-hmm.
It was a deal done. And the former Catholicos, he was well, actually there was one in between, but I have to go. But there was what was his name?
Vazgen?
Vazgen.
Yeah.
He was a spiritual man.
Mm.
Sonia knew him too.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in fear that this man, don't ever let this man come into, don't ever let this man become the next Catholicos.
And it happened.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Terrible.
And we wonder why we're in the situation we are spiritually now.
Mm.
And if you speak up against it, he's got his puppies and corrupt people around him who try to discredit you and say, also, I'm an Azerbaijani spy because I spoke up against him.
I see. They use that kind of tactics, yeah. So nobody could speak against him, right? He's very well protected.
Any priest that speaks against him, they're dismissed or sent to Siberia.
Oh my God, really? That's severely, unbelievable. So it's like a...
I think once it was a physical sense that he was sent to Siberia, one of them, and also in a not physical sense, they were sent to other lands, far away where they couldn't do any harm. Dear brother, we have to go. I'm sorry. Well, let's schedule. Let's stay in contact. We won't schedule anything, but I don't know what you think. We meet again next week sometime with Hike.
Sure.
Let's get it. Let's get the ball rolling and no pressure, but we're here to help you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so glad we've had this meeting today, Brother Mitch. We made it happen, and if you talk to him, you just tell him we've already met online, and it would be good to meet for all three of them, and just ask him if you could pick his brain about that passport renewal, not through the American embassy, but
I've already
asked him. You already said okay, no problem, right?
We're going to get an official response.
Okay. Well, that would be great. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay. God bless. Lord, watch over you, keep you, and it's just been wonderful. Truly, it's a blessing for me too.
Well, until next time, may the Lord be with you and your family, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay.
All right.
God bless you.
God bless.
God bless.
Okay, bye-bye.
Right there.